No Man's Sky Update 6.10 brings harvestable space wrecks and a new expedition that focuses on them called the Breach Expedition. These space wrecks also come with new Corvette parts, specifically the vertical sloping parts I've been hoping for since Voyagers landed, and a set of Atlas-themed parts from the Breach Expedition. The new space wrecks appear to be space points of interest like derelict freighters and wormholes. Upon finding one, we can spacewalk over to it and use our mining laser to salvage its Corvette parts. The wording on the update's patch notes heavily imply these don't just exist in the expedition like some initially feared, primarily due to space wrecks having their own section in the release page after the expedition is mentioned. Now when it comes to the actual new parts, there are quite a few and they're pretty cool. So the first one is in the landing thrusters. This is the hydraulic legs. So this is a new one. Previously we only had the Thunderbird, the landing gear, the mag field. Now we also have the hydraulic legs. I guess just a better looking version of the normal standard landing gear. They're no better stats. Like, it looks better here because it's got the minus 15% launch cost. But the stats of these show are what I will get if I put this on, but yours will likely be different. It's all seed based and it's all... There's a whole thing. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's not a static number for each part. It's kind of random to a degree. Now, the other part, so we got a bunch of new engines. So the first one is the Ambassador Heavy Booster. This looks really cool. That is just, it's definitely with the Ambassador kind of feel to it. It's super smooth and sleek and just looks really cool, especially with these little tanks coming out the side. We also have the Ambassador Sublight Thruster, which again brings on the whole smooth feel to it as with the other one. And like, if you look at these two actually just like merge into each other quite nicely. So you could definitely do some things. You could shift that up, have two of these from going out the back of one of these, like, and it would merge from this part. It could look really cool. There's definitely a bunch of things you could do with this. Then as far as these go, there's also the Arcadia Sublight Thruster. This is also new. Not much to say, it just goes along with the Arcadia theme, just a more blocky one. Now we also have these four at the bottom, the Wide Body Thruster, which is just a pretty cool back one for the whole horizontal line type. Then we've got another squarish double one, so like the Twin Echoes but square. Looks pretty cool. Firebox Thruster, just a square version of the Pyrodrive booster. And the Longshore Thruster, which is more of like the Twin Dynamo, like elongated but with the horizontal type. So yeah, we got some really great new thruster options. Now, one of the biggest deals of this, the extras we got here, are these. So not only have we got more weapons, so we've got the Infraknife platform, fantastic. We now have a proper upgrade for the Infraknife, which is the best weapon on ship, so you'll probably want to have this. It's a really good one. Three of these mixed with three of the S-Class or X-Class upgrades will make for a freaking peak Infraknife. We also have the Cyclotron Defense Cannon. Previously, the torpedo launcher was working with the Cyclotron, and it didn't quite make sense. The Deadeye Cannon is still the Positron, even though it says it's a precision deep space, which doesn't really make sense. But now we have a Cyclotron. I'm hoping that means the torpedo launcher actually works with the rockets like it says it does. Previously, the torpedo actually was a Cyclotron thing, not a rockets. So hopefully now they've added that, we'll also have that on rockets, which will mean we've actually finally got upgrades to rockets. So we can have 3 upgrades to rockets now, which we didn't have before. There are no procedural rocket upgrades. So yeah, we've got basically pretty much every weapon now. There's also one more new shield one, the defense field here. None of the classes on these have changed, but it does look freaking cool. Look how cool that looks. Got a bunch of moving parts. It's just another cool one, new cool addition. Honestly, the Corvettes are largely aesthetic. Like, they just look really cool and you can make them look epic. So I feel like that's kind of the main thing you go for. Now, as far as these go, there aren't too many new hull or wings here. So the only new wing, I believe, is the Ambassador Wing module. I don't believe this was there before. Let's just get this. Oh, we can do this on top, can we? Yeah, okay, so it just snaps on the top as well. That's cool. It doesn't reorient it or anything. So if we put that there and then flip it so it's above, can we have that connected to that? Apparently not. That's weird. Anyway, this is the new Ambassador type of wing module. It's not an engine, remember. The wings are, these ones in this second structural decorations are not core, so they don't add technology. So you won't, these wings aren't like engines. Now the main thing that is epic about these additions are these. So starting from just after the thermal grille, the fuel pod cover rim to the Speedbird nacelle rim. These are all vertical parts, the new ones are talking about. So we click here, we can now finally go from the different curves but on the vertical axis. I've had to deal with put some other stuff in this gap, whereas now I might be able to fill it with vertical pieces. So if we actually have a look and try to do that, what would be the best to go there? Maybe this one, Speedbird. So this doesn't seem to want to... Oh, there we go. So look at that. How freaking cool is that? That just perfectly fits. And it... yeah, that's everything I wanted. Like, this piece literally looks like it was purely made for that specific circumstance. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. That is exactly what I wanted and was missing when they initially introduced them. I don't have to glitch to get this, and it looks really cool. So yeah, I'm extremely happy with that. It just works. They've done a really good job of implementing that. Hells to the yeah. So there's a bunch of these. There's not too many, but it looks like you don't need that many. They've put enough to fit with all these parts. It's crazy that that's all you needed. I believe there are a few new ones down here, like the oversized canister link, the structural gantry link, industrial cargo link will also be new. This is old. High energy ducting, that also seems new. Shielded joint 2, plasma core, fuel cell and coolant distributor. The rest, I believe, are all old, except for maybe the heavy scaffold. That might be new as well. So yeah, we've got a bunch of new stuff here. We've got new decorations. They've taken a few things out of here, I believe, that shouldn't have been here and put them in the other one. But yeah, loads of new parts for these, and that doesn't even include the stuff that's on the Expedition. The Breach Expedition is clearly a Halloween themed one, and if we weren't certain, on the patch note page HG used the word spooky, so we definitely get the picture. That being said, this expedition only lasts for 3 weeks. This feels a little odd to me, and the only reason I can think of for making it so short is if the Redux is directly after. The Expedition Redux is an annual event where the previous expeditions from that year are available in a shorter form to replay. This is primarily for those who missed them to obtain their rewards, but I enjoy replaying them anyway myself. There will likely be a special expedition that comprises of rewards from previous years too. Starting the second week of November, however, is slightly earlier than I expected. What that means is anyone's guess. Without save editing and such, I can't show you the expedition reward pieces in-game, but here are images of them to get a good idea what they look like. We have a new engine. Whether this is S-Class is unknown yet, but I suspect it'll only be A-Class. By the way, it looks super cool and is likely the main reward for this expo. There are also 2 wing modules, the Aeron Blade and the Wings of Aeron. These won't provide tech, but they look dang cool. Then we have some hull modules, such as the Aeron Winglet, Aeron Pyramid, Aeron Diffuser, and the Aeron Cowling. A cool looking one called the Aeron Pillar, which based on the name versus the icon makes me think a rod will pop out of it or something. We also have the Aeron Power Shield, which is an Atlas themed shield module. On top of these parts we also have 3 cool new posters and an Atlas/infrared looking Starship Trail. Considering how many people like the Atlas multi-tool helmet and backpack, people are definitely going to like these pieces. And maybe that's a clue to which of the previous year's expeditions will be in the Redux. I bet we'll get a chance to get the Atlas pieces again this year. While the list of notes is long, there are 8 in particular you should hear about. First off is a fix to the exosuit terminal, especially in abandoned mode. If you were having trouble using exosuit slot augments to upgrade your exosuit via a terminal, it should now be fixed. This issue just prevented further interaction after buying a slot, so you couldn't use the augment items. Next is multiple fixes to issues that prevent decal placement on Corvettes. I'm hoping that also fixes the constant spinning when trying to place them inside. An issue that caused Corvette inner doorways to be blocked has been fixed. I believe this affected quite a few people. As mentioned when looking at the new Corvette parts, the torpedo now does correctly assign to the rocket launcher and install it when you build one. This fix unfortunately fixes a glitch building technique found or at least popularised by Beeblebum. The technique allowed you to build planetary base parts on a Corvette. Now, if you build the wrong parts, it could corrupt your save, as Beeblebum warned, so it is understandable why they'd fix this particular technique. As far as I can tell, they have not got rid of any other glitch techniques for base building or Corvettes. Then we have two fixes regarding refiners. The first was an issue that automatically set the refiner output to the max when pressing to start, which was very annoying, so glad for that fix. The second fix is a minor inconvenience issue. Basically, if you put your resources in your personal refiner when it was empty by dragging and drop, it would only automatically start refining it if you had some of that resource already in it, but not when empty, so you'd have to place one or more of the resources in, then add one or more after, and it would work. Now it just auto-refines as it should do on drag and drop. A new quality of life improvement I really like that they've added is a colour all option to the Corvette builder, so you can just click one button to colour every module the same, then just make any additions you want, saving a lot of time, as well as sometimes it just being hard to know if you got everything. There are plenty more patch notes in this mini update. Instead of boring you with many you won't care about, I've put the ones I haven't covered in the video in the description. So feel free to give it a look, probably a bit more convenient than just pausing the screen for several pages. Thanks all, expedition guides coming, and just more general No Man's Sky guides coming, including the big Corvette guide. Peace.